Hi guys and welcome back to my channel once again. This time we are live for Netherlands against Japan. As you can see, we have got a changed theme over here and over here as well. Over here and over here as well. We have blue circles and a different Netherlands scheme, and a different Netherlands, no, a different Netherlands scheme, and a different Japan scheme, and also a different World Cup stream um, scene below. So this indeed is going to be a very interesting game. It is the first clash of heavyweights today. Brazil versus Morocco was the first heavyweights clash which took place yesterday morning around the same time. To be exact, around 22 hours ago from today, right now. And now we are here with match now. Yeah. So I believe this is not match 9 anymore. This is match 10. I think I forgot with that one. So match 9 is match 10. Now I would like to obviously discuss some tactics. We are going to have Netherlands against Japan in this one. For me personally, today's man of the match is going to be the one and only, the cooler, the um, the best player, the best Dutch player in this team is going to be Frankie de Jong. That's my personal pick for today's man of the match award. Now let's obviously talk about some tactics here. It is Netherlands against Japan, and these are the official lineups that have been announced. It is Netherlands who are playing a 4-3-3 formation with Mickey van de Ven, Van Dijk, Van Hecke, and Dumfries there. This is the big miss. Jurien Timber is the one missing out. Maybe Ronald Koeman thought an Arsenal player and Tottenham player cannot play in the same team. That's why Jurien Timber has been benched or maybe there was some other reason. Gravenberg, Reinders, and De Jong in the middle of the park. I think that's a reasonable choice for them, given the options they had. Somerville, Marlin, and Cody Gakpo. All three of them have had interesting seasons. Somerville has had a wonderful season. Cody Gakpo had a kind of a mid season. He was good for most of the season, but in the most unpredictable moments, he obviously used to miss open goals, which is um, looking like a characteristic for most Liverpool players. But anyway, that's not our topic for today. On the other hand, we have got Japan, who are playing a 3-4-3 formation, who have made quite a lot of interesting changes in their team today. Itakura starting, Yoshida and Tomiyasu as well, who is expected to obviously start. But then in the middle of the park here, we have two surprising changes. Kamada and Sano have been given the nod over both Wataru Endo and Serin Tanaka. Wataru Endo, obviously a Liverpool player, which is why it's surprising and for Endo to not get picked in today's starting 11. Ritsudoan on the wing, he's been balling out for Freiburg as well as Nakamura, Junya Ito, Takefusa Kubo, and Ueda. So it is not a bad team for Japan as well. And we have seen Japan obviously experiment way too much. Obviously, they need to stick to what they know, but they usually try out many different things as well. So now if we now if we have a deeper look into how they're going to play this game today. So Netherlands, this team on the left are obviously known as the inventors of total football. 4-3-3 formation. Total football is a formation in which you play, you win the ball high up the pitch, and you basically think that when um, it was basically when a team is most vulnerable. That's obviously in transition, right? So if you press high up the pitch, right, and you absolutely swarm him in transition, and then there you catch two, three opposition players off guard, and with that you can create a good goal scoring opportunity, which is what Netherlands do, right? Made basically a more modern version of this approach they play these days. And Japan, on the other hand, are known for experimenting, as I previously said as well. Japan play fearless formation, fearless football. They also swarm the pitch high up, which is why I believe this is going to be a very interesting game, right? Because first of all, this is the first actual big game where we have two heavyweight teams who are going toe to toe at each other. For 90 minutes, they will go at each other, they will bombard each other, right? Obviously, now people will say Brazil Morocco was a big game as well. Of course, it was. We're not doubting that. Brazil Morocco was a wonderful game. In that as well, Brazil played Joga Bonito, and Morocco used like to play counter-attacking football. They defend, 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 and then when the chance comes, they hit hard on the counter and score. That's Morocco's way. Now I know most people are not tacticians and they wouldn't care really. They would say Brazil Morocco was a bigger game, and fair play to them. But to us who understand tactics, it's obviously Netherlands versus Japan who are going to go for each other end to end, entertaining football. This is why football was made. This is the reason why football was invented. And this is the reason why Netherlands are known as the inventors of total football. They will press high up the pitch. They will rely on control. They will make control build-ups. They will defend compact when they have to, and they can also defend deep when they have to, which is basically the upgraded version because in 1970s total football you didn't have to defend deep, you just have to keep running, running, running after the ball, right? But now it's much more controlled, much more organized, and they press with traps, not always random pressing on any normal person. We have seen Netherlands play four at the back, or at least start with four at the back. Then Van Hecke comes to the right, Van Dijk and Van de Ven, obviously, and then Dumfries has the license to bomb down the wing. Samuel can come inside, and Dumfries here. Now, obviously, if we translate this onto the football pitch, then we can do a little something like this, which is how Netherlands will be attacking. Van Dijk will have the ball. Van Hecke comes to the right, Van de Ven forms here, and we can have man marking by Japan, who will be man marking, but at the same time they will also care about aggressive pressing. They will not sit back and allow Netherlands to get their hold on the game. They will come forward and they will try to stop them. Henceforth, I believe it'll be harder for Netherlands, right, to win this game than many people actually believe. So here you can see there will be spaces over here, right? There will be spaces. For example, Gravenberch, he may come inside over here, right? This is a normal formation which they would normally be in, which is how they will be attacking, right? Gravenberch comes inside, Van Dijk Weda presses him, and then there this and there's a goal scoring opportunity, right? Which is why Japan need to be very careful when to press, when not to press. That's why this brand of football is obviously attention seeking, but obviously it is full of risks as well. The risk in that is obviously the one I literally just showed. You have one pass and the wrong player presses on the wrong person. You have here, right? And then Kubo needs to jump on De Jong, Van Dijk to Van de Ven, right? Don comes forward, and when he comes forward to man mark him, he basically leaves two players behind him. Tomiyasu can mark him, but Kamada needs to mark this space. He cannot mark Reinders. Reinders will be free to make a run. Van de Ven can make this pass through. Van de Ven can go back to Van Dijk. Van de Ven can play to Gakpo, and Van de Ven can play a ball over the top for Reinders, which is why there will be an easy goal scoring opportunity. This is why we're calling this a risky brand of football. They need to press, yeah, sure, they need to press, but they need to know when to press, when not to press. They can't just randomly jump on any person because Netherlands, they have the passing players like Frankie de Jong, who will make long passes when Japan usually make the wrong press the wrong people. In another instance, we can have Van de Ven staying on the left, Van Dijk staying on the left, Van Dijk coming centrally, Van Hecke staying on the right, right, and Dumfries obviously coming inside, right. But in this instance, we will have Summerville on the right, who is the right winger. Summerville will stay on the right. Marlon stays here, Reinders stays here, right? And then De Jong is here, Van Dijk, Van Hecke, Dumfries. This is the actual formation which they are playing with, a 4-4-3-3 formation, right? However, in this formation, you can clearly see they are being outnumbered in the middle of the pitch. Okay, even if we lose these two people out there, they're still being outnumbered in the middle of the park, 3-4, right? 3v4 in the middle of the park, and maybe even Ritsuduan can sometimes come in here. So occasionally, what they do to sort this problem out, maybe Van de Ven can come in, or Dumfries can come into this middle of the park to create a 4v4, right? And then Netherlands have the type of players with the quality to play through the press of 4v4s, which is how they can win this game, which is how they can create goal scoring opportunities for themselves. So we are just a minute away from kickoff now. And we are coming off the back of a 7-1 thumping of Curacao. Germany have just beat everything out of Curacao. They haven't left anything in Curacao. It'll be very hard for Curacao as well to mentally recover from this. A nation that's making a debut is for its first ever time at the FIFA World Cup. It'll be tough for them to recover from here. Right then, it's almost kickoff time for Netherlands against Japan. All the big players are here, and it's gonna be a big game here. It's Netherlands against Japan. Netherlands team is worth 750 million quid, right? And Japan's team is worth 270 million quid, which is exactly, no, not exactly, but near about half of the market value of Netherlands, which means Netherlands is the clear favorite. No, they're not the clear favorite, but like they are the better team on paper. They have the better players, but Japan on their day are fearless, who will play an attacking brand of football and beat anyone on their given day. So it's Netherlands in their orange kits, Japan in their blue kits. Netherlands are going to be kicking from left to right, and it's Tijani Reinders who gets us underway. Straight back to Verbruggen, who clears it away, and we're underway. Netherlands against Japan. Straight away, you can see Japan pressing high up the pitch, immediately not allowing Netherlands to get on the ball. This is good from Japan already. Ritsudoan, Ritsudoan coming inside. Dumfries tidies up, and immediately you can see them swarming the ball. This is end-to-end football already. We've had a chance for the Netherlands already, and now it's going down the other end for Japan. De Jong, Van de Ven, going all the way back to Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk, Frankie de Jong.
Not sure 100%.
Cleared away by Netherlands. Frankie de Jong in the middle of the park. Japan have lost out here. They come back and set up in an organized formation once again. Dumfries down the right. The surprise pick over Julian Timber for me. Cleared away. Out to Cody Gakpo on the right. Cody Gakpo against Doan. This will be a mouth-watering battle down the left wing. Frankie de Jong. De Jong down the left. Back to Cody Gakpo. Reinders. Netherlands players are frequently switching positions. This is another point we have to discuss. Let the game slow down a bit, and then I'll talk about this point as well. 2 minutes into the clock, Netherlands are dominating the game so far. Dominating meaning dominating by possession. But that doesn't mean Japan are going to sit back. Japan is not going to sit back. They're still coming on the counter. Cody Gakpo on the left against Luan. Gakpo. Daniel Marlin. Marlin holding it up. It's Daniel Marlin. That's a good shot. And it's saved by the Japanese keeper there. Wonderful hold-up play, and then a great save as well from Suzuki, the goalkeeper of Japan. That was good save. Very, very good save. That was hit like a rocket. First shot on target, and it's out for a corner. Good football. My prediction for the game is I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. I do not know who will win, but what I do know, there will be goals in this game. They will be entertaining. Maybe not as much as in Germany Curacao, because there were 8 goals in that game. There was 7-1 for Germany. But that's a different thing. Johnny Reinders is going to whip it into the box for Netherlands for this corner. 3 minutes on the clock. Daniel Malin has 14 goals in the last 18 games for Roma, which is his club. He is the Serie A MVP this year, right? Like, he's the player of the season, and he literally joined the team mid-season. So he missed half the season, but he was still the best player in the league. That right there is some feat achieved by Daniel Malin for AS Roma. Right, Japan come back on the counter now. 5 minutes into the game. Kubo down the left, and he's gonna win a free kick. That's a bad foul already. Trying to beat his man there, and that is a clumsy challenge there. And Japan have an interesting position for a free kick. It's Takefusa Kubo over it, and he will be the one to take it. So after this free kick, chat, give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to be back in a flash, alright? Japan is the one to take. Takefusa Kubo over it. Probably a better free kick for the right-footed person. He can curl it in, he can curl it away. It's whipped into the box now from Japan, and it's gone all the way over the top. No, it's not. Oh my god, that was close. Was just about kept in. No, he was offside anyway. So it is a Netherlands goal kick. Right, I'm going to be back in a flash. Right, Netherlands have a goal kick. Japan have a missed opportunity. It's only just the start right now. Only just the start. Throw in for Japan. Japan having some of the ball finally. 7 minutes on the clock. Ball over the top. It's going to be whipped into the box now. Japan maybe have a chance now. But as you can see, they're throwing numbers forward. Kubo tricks his player, but he forgets the ball behind him. And that is a waste. Over the top, into the night sky. Actually, beyond the night sky, even maybe going into planet orbit, that one. And then goal kick taken quick. Gakpo. Out for a throw in now. Van Dijk. Van de Ven. Dumfries. So chat, if Netherlands played three at the back today, that would have been the first ever time Netherlands have three players in the defense whose names all start from Van. But Denzel Dumfries is the one to break that trend today in that back line. Netherlands having the ball. Play it out wide to Cody Gakpo. Don will clear. It's out for a throw in. Netherlands with the ball. They're going to recycle it. Japan pressing. Not pressing high, but pressing in a mid block. Forcing them to go back. Netherlands playing with three at the back. Played over the top by Virgil van Dijk, and that ball is a waste. It does not reach anyone to who it was intended for. So we are 10 minutes in, and it is 0-0 still. Japan goal kick this time. Suzuki takes it long, but Netherlands win the ball up the pitch again. Now they press high. They're swarming the ball over there, but Japan play through. Japan play very well through the press now, and now they're throwing numbers forward. Ritsuduan bombing down the right wing. Doan. Switch of play to the center. Now switch of play to the right. Ball's played through. Reinders intercepts, but Japan have a chance here. Netherlands, oh my god, that's close. Oh no, that was not close. Ritsuduan. Takefusa Kubo as well. Good players Japan have on that team. Kubo. Kubo on the right. Played through, cleared away by Virgil van Dijk. Both teams trying to build pressure on the other. No one really trying to score. One all the way back to Suzuki now. Good ball there. Doan down the left. Nice cleave attempt there, but Van de Ven has now won the ball, and now Netherlands come on the break. It's Tijani Reinders, and that's another waste. Both teams trying to build pressure on the other, but in the same time, they are very wasteful in possession. 5 views on the stream so far. Come on, guys, come on. Japan now go. Keeping the ball. Netherlands not trying to push that up. Netherlands defending in a 5-4-1 formation. Ball over the top now. That's a lovely touch. And it's been intercepted by Denzel Dumfries out for a corner. Corner taken quickly. It's going to be whipped into the box very soon. It's Ritsuduan trying to find space. Kubo. Takefusa Kubo with a wonderful little dink, and that's in, and it's a wonderful interception there. Van de Ven putting his body on the line. It's still 0-0. Lovely little dink from Kubo, and then the ball into the box from Yoshida that was. But oh no, that's not Van de Ven, that's Van Hecke. That's a wonderful challenge there. The Brighton centre back putting his body on the line. And Van Dijk takes the goal kick, okay? Interesting. It's out wide for Netherlands throw now. Van de Ven will take. Van de Ven. Van Hecke. Van Dijk. 3 Vans at the back for Netherlands. Japan trying to press, going back again. Not pressing high up. Right now the game intensity has slowed down a bit, right? And now we can touch on the point we had to show earlier. Right, it is a throw, and now we can touch on the point. As I said, I previously wanted to show. Oopsie, as I said, I previously wanted to show earlier. That was my stream, by the way. Yep, here it is. So as we say, right, Netherlands are attacking with the ball, right, but Japan are not really trying to push that up, right. They're staying back, swarm the ball, 3v2, 3v1. It's not happening like that, right, but it may happen. You never know. 15th minute on the clock right now. 0-0 so far. Japan have the ball. So we had to quit the stream early for Germany Curacao, right? And for that reason, now we had to skip what we had to explain in the Germany Curacao game with basically what is gegenpressing, right? Gegenpressing is something that I had to explain in the first half, like this half break of the first game, right? But oh my god, it's happened again. Yeah, I had to explain that in the halftime break of the first game, which was Curacao, Germany, but I couldn't. We had to quit early because of some technical issues, and now I'm going to explain what is gegenpressing. So basically, as you can see, this is exactly what gegenpressing is, right? We see here, as they say, the team is most vulnerable when they play on transition, right? So here, if you can see, if Netherlands are here, right? For example, De Jong has the ball, right? And you swarm him. You send Duan here, Ito here, Tomiyasu there, Yoshida there, right? Also Wade here, right? So it's essentially a 5v1 in the middle of the park, right? But because of this 5v1, right? If De Jong manages to find a way through, like if he plays a pass to Gakpo here, if he is able to play a pass through Gakpo, if none of your players are able to block the pass from De Jong to Gakpo, then he's free on goal and Kamada will not be able to get through in time and Gakpo will most likely bury this, right? And it will be a goal except Gakpo becomes Gakpo. Um, Other than that, right? This is one outcome for gegenpressing. The other outcome could be, right, if you win the ball over here, for example, Tomiyasu or Yoshida blocks, right, that immediately passes the ball to Duan, right, Ueda can make a run here, Kubo can be thrown in here, Sano can be thrown here, right, and then all of the players ahead of the ball will be running this side with their backs towards the ball, right? Ueda, Sano, and Kubo will be obviously interested to do that, right? Duan can make a run down here, and Van de Ven can make a run down here, right? Which obviously takes most of these players out of the game. But this right here, this is going to shift to the left as well, which means this is basically essentially a 6v7. No reminders to anything else, by the way. This is essentially a 6v7 in the middle of the park, right? And because of this 6v7, they are going to dominate this, and most likely they will be expected to bury this chance. As you can see here, it's a 6v7 here, and Duan can maybe beat his men, and he can go down the right to beat Van de Ven, and then Van Dijk, Van Hecke, and also Van de Ven will all see themselves tracking back with yeah, Van Dijk, Van Hecke, and Van de Ven as well will all see themselves on the backside, right, and cracking towards this side of the ball where it's a 4v3. So Verbruggen will have to be very alert. If he's not alert, there's a chance, and Japan will take that because a team with the quality of Japan, they're expected to bury such chances. Back to the game now, 22nd minute on the clock, and it's still going kind of a snooze fest, by the way. No team's really pressing high, no team's really showing the intensity we'd expected them to show. Um, my boy in the middle of the park, Frankie de Jong, not really dominating the game that much. He's kind of just watching what's happening over here, and now we have to go for a hydration break. So while it is a hydration break, we shift back to this explanation over here. So this is one possible outcome of gegenpressing, right? Another one of gegenpressing can be, for example, because what happened basically was they were outnumbered, right, in the middle of the park. Um, yeah, more like this, right? So this is Netherlands, Japan, right? And basically what happens is Netherlands are attacking, right? Let's assume Netherlands are attacking. So that will mean that they are pressing up the pitch. They will obviously not even stay in the shape that much, as I've already previously explained, right? Dumfries will try to come in here. Someone will shift inside, Gravenberg, right? And Reinders can maybe make a run deep inside here. De Jong can shift in here, which means Marlin. And someone will try to find spaces inside these two defenders and these two defenders, each respectively. The Van Hecke can shift on the right, Van Dijk in the middle, right here. Now here, if we say, for example, Van Dijk plays it to Van de Jong. Sorry. There's so many Vans. There's so many Vans in this Netherlands team, right? So Frankie de Jong, not Van de Jong. If when he plays this to Van, all right, Frankie de Jong, Frankie de Jong. When he plays this to Frankie de Jong, there will be many players on him, right? Ito can mark him, Endo can mark him, Kamada can mark him, right? Ito can there are actually two Itos in this Japanese team, and also this guy can also press up the pitch, right? So if De Jong can find a way, right, to pass it back to Van Dijk, right? That means these five of Japan's outfield players have basically been caught off guard. That's literally half the team. So half of Japan's team has been caught off guard in the middle of the pitch, out of position, right? And from then on, they will be obviously expected to bury the chance which they create from here. Looking at what chance they can create from here, I guess it's kind of easy. Oh my god, it's happened again. Yeah. Look at what chance they can create from here. When I can go to Van de Ven. Dawn will press up the pitch, and meanwhile these five can obviously try to shift upwards, more like here, right? And start to get back into their positions. But meanwhile, Van de Ven can play past Reinders to Gakpo, and then it's a 2v2 in this situation, which is a winger's dream. And if Gakpo can beat here, Itakura, because Japan were caught out of possession. These three players, right, and they have to mark their players. Ito cannot leave Reinders free. Ito cannot leave Reinders free. That's why he has to leave Manen free instead, who will be marked by Nagamoto, right? Henceforth, it's a 3v2 here, right? And if this reaches here, that's where the alarm bells start ringing. And if this reaches here, then you have Reinders marked by Ito, Manen marked by Nagatomo, right? And you have Gakpo totally free. Except for the goalkeeper, there's literally no one on him, right? Which is another outcome. Unless Gakpo becomes a Gakpo, you expect him to bury that. Hydration break is now over. Very safe game so far. Snooze fest. No team is wanting to go for it. No team is wanting to push for it. But they will want to push for it eventually. Maybe this is a slow burner type of game. He's literally walking with the ball. Just shows you the intensity. No one wants to press. They're just trying to stay focused. I love this kind of football when my team is playing. Arsenal does that all the time. But when other teams are playing, I do realize, yep, that is indeed a snooze fest, which our team plays. But this is basically the exact same thing they're doing right now. Just basically at a lower level. Duan whips it into the box. Van Hecke will clear. That was the first real statement of intent. Japan are having most of the possession, but you can't see they're in jail here. Here's a chance, Takefusa Kubo, and oh my god, he let the chance go. Takefusa Kubo should have shot. Not first time, but he should have shot second, third time maybe. Because he had the chance over there. That chance was all his. He should have buried that. And when he let it slip onto his other foot, that was never going in again. Never. Cleared away this by the Dutch goalkeeper. Japan have it back again, and they're going to try to press, but they've given the ball away to Netherlands. That's Van de Ven. Van de Ven to no. The pass no. The pass was made to Van de Ven. Yeah, that was a different person. Yeah. Here we go to Johnny Reinders. Netherlands pressing up the pitch, but pressing with the ball, knocking on the door. What I mean. Van Dijk trying to find that one killer pass. Cody Gakpo against Ritsu Doan. It's a 2v1. He can't find a way. Back to Reinders. Netherlands recycle it. Still trying to find gaps. That's a decent ball through, and he's found a way here. It's whipped into the box, but the Japanese defense is clear. Good defense there by Ito. Which one? Because there are two Itos in their team. There's too many Itos in Japan's team, and there's too many Vans in Netherlands' team. Also, there's too many Iches in Croatia's team, too many Ineos in Brazil's team. Cody Gakpo once again down the right. Reinders shifts it out wide to the right, but he tries to shift it out wide to the right, but he fails to do that. Van Hecke, Frankie de Jong. Cody Gakpo once again. Can he finally beat his man? Gakpo whips it into the box. It's a deep one. Dumfries. It's gone over the top. He didn't necessarily beat his man. He just found some space and he whipped in the cross. Dumfries making the run ahead, but the cross was too deep. Okay, the dribble was nice, but the cross was horrible from Cody Gakpo over there. Netherlands. Once again, they win the ball from a Japanese goal kick. 30 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. Frankie de Jong. Out wide to the right now. Back to Dumfries. Samuel can't beat his man. Van Dijk. Van Dijk to Van de Ven. Van de Ven to Gakpo. Gakpo back to Van de Ven. Van de Ven to Van Dijk. Van Dijk to Frankie de Jong. Rotating it aimlessly here. Dumfries. Dumfries to Van Hecke. Van Hecke back to Van Dijk. And I know who will pass. He passed to already. It's gonna be Van de Ven. Oh no, he passes it right instead. Still only sideways though. No real possession. No real advantage of possession here, but that's nice. There was a loose pass there by Van Hecke, and Duan immediately tried to jump on it. Failed to do so, but the attempt was nice. And Japan finally have a get out of jail card. It's a free kick. So basically, it's been a snooze fest so far. No real entertainment in this one. It's been quite boring, I'm not gonna lie. No team's really pressing, no team's really doing much else. And with a team with a match of quality stars like Frankie de Jong and better players, I think you'd expect better football to be played. But I mean, alright, it happens. Maybe as I said earlier, maybe this one is a slow burner. Van Hecke. Van Hecke to Dumfries. Dumfries to Somerville. Somerville to Van Hecke. And Van Hecke to Van Dijk. And Van Dijk surely to Van de Ven. No, Van Dijk goes to Gakpo this time. And Gakpo tries to beat his man. It's anyone's guess. Obviously, Gakpo failed and it goes back to Van Dijk again. Frankie de Jong. Samuel coming inside. Dumfries down the right. Daniel Malen trying to come deep and collect the ball. And they've lost out on the counter here. This is Daniel Malen, and that's a wonderful last man interception there. It's Taniguchi for Japan. That is a wonderful tackle. And that wonderful tackle prevents them from making any real progress. It's a corner for Netherlands, I believe now. No, it's a throw in instead. Reinders will take it. No, it is a corner. Alright then, Reinders for Netherlands. He's gonna whip it in. Whipped it in the box. It's the header and it's cleared away there. Oh my god, that was a wonderful save by Suzuki. Reinders once again whips it in, and the header is met by which van that was. There were so many vans. I think that was Van de Ven there. Over the top. Good save there by Suzuki. Okay, Suzuki. Interesting. He takes the goal kick. Netherlands win the ball again. I just hope they stop recycling it here and there and they actually try to take on the man. Frankie de Jong. Another sideways pass. Much different to the entertaining vertical football we saw Germany versus Curacao. It was really one-sided. Curacao had one chance, they took it. If they had more chances, who knows, they might have took them. But this one's much more boring. Dumfries down the right, tries a 1-2, and that's handball. That is going to go for a free kick. They have Memphis Depay in the team as well. This guy, oh my god, he just doesn't age. He's playing, I don't know how many World Cups now. So far, all the Netherlands have done is simply just one thing, right? And I'm going to explain that after this free kick if this doesn't go in. Reinders will take. Reinders takes, whipped into the box. No one here has a chance and it's gone to the moon again. What are you doing? That was... Oh my god, obvious that was Gakpo. That had to be Gakpo. He has sent that out of the stadium into the moon, maybe to save an asteroid. So far, all the Netherlands have done, all the Netherlands have done so far is only one thing, right? They have destroyed all my game planning. which I took 2 hours to make, right? Which was entertaining Netherlands football, and it's been the total opposite of that. They're playing boring haram ball. Netherlands fans trying to cheer on the team. Nothing really in this one. Honestly, at this rate, I won't even be surprised if it's a nil-nil draw. Suzuki once again clears it. It's 1:38 a.m. at night and we're watching this snooze fest. Wow. Respect to whoever is watching this game, because unlike the names on the paper, this one has turned out to be interesting. Well, I hope the game picks up, and for the sake of my sleep, it better does. Netherlands have a throw in. Van Dijk to Van Hecke. Van Dijk back to Van Hecke. Van Hecke back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk to Van de Ven. Van de Ven to Van Dijk. Van Hecke. Van Hecke to Van Dijk. Van Dijk to Van Hecke. Van Dijk to Van Hecke. Van Hecke back to Van de Ven. Finally, there's the ball out of the vans. Samuel down the right. It's going to be whipped into the box, and Japan just smoke it away for a sixer. They have done nothing about controlling the ball. Just touch the ball, right? See what it's made of, right? And smoke it into the moon. Maybe Gakpo took inspiration from them. Netherlands have the ball, which has been the hallmark of this game so far, because there hasn't been much else to describe really. Van Dijk. Finally, Japan trigger the press. Finally, Japan go ahead. Finally, they're showing some intent. This is better. Well, I was told Japan play fearless, attacking, intense brand of football, right? Which was what I was expecting, and I did. That was exactly what I also explained in my preview before the game. But right now, it's just turning out to be something totally different from both teams, and especially from the Netherlands. So there's a post that says India would have scored 10 times by now. Yep, India would have scored 20 times by now. Pakistan would have scored 50 times. Samuel. What is this football? You guys are playing at a FIFA World Cup. Show more intensity. So I'm just checking up the stats now, which I'm pretty sure are being dominated by the Netherlands, but to absolutely no effect, because they're literally doing nothing with the ball than just passing sideways and sideways. They're doing nothing else. So as stats show, right, it's been 68% possession for Netherlands, right? 5 shots, 2 on target, 313 passes, 91% pass accuracy, which means anyone who has not been watching this game, right, will be so easy to fool. It will be so easy to fool him with this game. But believe me, this has been an absolute snooze fest. With the amount of ball Netherlands have had, they should have done much, much more with this. Cleared away by Suzuki. Oh my god. Cleared away by the Japanese goalkeeper instead. And it goes back to Suzuki. Okay, Suzuki passes it forward. Interesting. Finally, Japan have some of the ball. Japan have a ball. Play through. Doan. It's gonna be the Takefusa Kubo and it's been hit wide. The hit was good. You never know, it could have gone anywhere. There's another chance for Japan and it's gone wide. So what really going to happen is here that De Jong will be pressed high by Endo, Ito, and Kamada, right? And if De Jong fails, right, then Ito or Endo they can go forward with the ball, maybe on a Duan, right? And then you can throw forward maybe a Kubo, a Sano, and a Kamada, right? You still have Van Dijk, Van Hike, um, Van Hecke, Van Dijk, and Van de Ven all tracking back, right? Kamada, Doan, Sano, as well as Takefusa Zoko. It's a 4v3 here, right? And a 4v3 is still a much better situation than, for example, say a 4v1, which will be there if there is no rest defense. Then here you can maybe say when the Ven commits here, and Duan plays one pass through to Kamada or maybe to Kubo, and he's through on goal, and Kubo will bury this chance, right? However, obviously, if this is not a 4v1 and instead it's a 4v3 here, then Richard Duan cannot that freely play the pass over here. So if anyone is going to press him, right, Duan can obviously make that pass to Kamada, and Van Dijk will know that he can press here to block Kamada going down the right side, and Van Hecke can press to Kubo. Van Dijk can cover this space, and obviously it can be a 3v1, and from here it'll need a really skilled pass to get out of here, right? However, in this situation, if this was Van Dijk alone, then this was an easy pass forward, and Kubo will bury that, right? That's why a rest defense is important. So without a rest defense, you're basically left exposed on the counter. However, on the other hand, if you are attacking, right, and you have been, like for example, Duan obviously on the right, Kamada here, right, and Kubo up top, and Sano here, right. If, for example, you don't leave a rest defense, right, and instead you go for this, it'll be Kubo down the left, Sano in the middle, and Ito up top alongside. No one else really. It's going to be Sano here, right? For example, if you want to stop gegenpressing from ever happening, right? If you want to stop your players losing out here from gegenpressing, you can say maybe throw in a Somerville here, right? Throw in a Gravenberg here, throw in a Marlin here, right? And then you can win this 4-3, right? But then this space is left quite uncertain, right? Which means, for example, even if you win this counter, even if you win this 4v3 over here, there will be not many options to pass to, right? Henceforth, you can throw in a Dumfries here, right? And Van de Ven as an overlapping fullback here, and Van Hecke, or maybe even Gappo coming inside, and Van Hecke as an overlapping fullback, which can allow Rangers to go even central, right? Which means basically, if you win this 4-3, take this 4-3 out of the game, now have the football over here, right? And bang, you will still have numbers over here, right? Here is a 4v4, right? Why is it a 4v4? Obviously, because you have no rest defense. So, for example, you take this 4v3 out of the game over here, right? Which means if Rinder wins the ball, like if Ito wins the ball over here, then you'll be exposed on the counter because you only have Van Dijk back, right? But in the attack, you will obviously have an advantage because you have your other centre back Van de Ven and the other centre back Van Hecke. All of them are attacking, which basically means you can throw numbers forward and you can score a goal. So it is currently half time, Netherlands nil, Japan nil. It's been quite a snooze fest in this one. Avocado 7165 says sorry I'm late, just came home. Always welcome. Well, if you have missed the game thus far, which basically means is that you have missed the game so far, you haven't missed anything, right? It's been an absolute boring game. It has been nothing on the ball. It's been just Netherlands dominating the ball, right? And dominating the ball and dominating the ball. And guess what? Dominating the ball. They haven't done anything with it. They've been passing sideways. Van Hecke to Van Dijk to Van de Ven to Van Hecke to Van Dijk to Van de Ven to Van Hecke to Van Dijk to Van Hecke to Van Dijk to Van Hecke once again. And this is basically what they have been doing all game long. They haven't done anything else, right? It's 45 minutes in and they need to improve. Otherwise, this game is going nowhere, right? And I'm going also nowhere other than my bed. So if you do leave the rest defense back, which will be Van Dijk, right? Van Dijk, Van de Ven, and Van Hecke, hence for the three Vans the Netherlands have in their team, right? That will mean basically Ito and Reinders, right? Will be left in a 1v1, and if Ito wins this, then he can pass it to Ito. Wait, what? One E. Yeah, there's plenty of Itos in Japan's team, right? One Ito can pass it to the other Ito, and then the other Ito can dribble with the other Ito coming forward, right? And the two Itos can maybe go up against the three Vans of Netherlands. Okay, okay. So the two Itos can go up against the three Vans. Interesting. So the two Itos can go up against the three Vans here of the Netherlands, right? And they can push forward. And obviously taking this 4v4 out of the game. Take this 4v4 completely out of the game and you're left exposed. I'm talking about Japan. You're left exposed, right? Which basically means 3v2, you're mostly gonna win this, right? If Van Dijk doesn't commit to rash challenge. Right, you're basically gonna win this 2v1 anyway, and if you do win this, then obviously there is going to be a huge advantage here. For example, Van Dijk does win the ball here, both Itos press him, right? Van Dijk is a good enough player to make a pass through here, and then bang, there's no one to defend here. There is no one to defend here. Reinders, by the time Nagatomo gets there, Reinders can easily make the shoot and score a goal, or he can make the pass to Dumfries, and Dumfries can sky it to the moon, because that's what he's been doing. So I believe the second half has begun now. I haven't even seen actually.
Punk. And this is what the world gets when 48 nations meet to play one beautiful
Yeah, so
game.
the second half has not begun yet.
With Walmart Express delivery in as fast as an hour, the watch party never has to slow down. Smoke signals worked. More neighbors coming.
More reinforcements, too. Who knew?
I knew. We need a bigger screen. When does it start? In an hour? Oh, we got this. You're also gonna need a...
We transformed customer service with AI.
The key is getting all your data together.
You just got to move it from everywhere.
From everywhere, you got to get all
Customer clouds.
Customer cloud.
Different vendors.
30-year-old records.
Somehow we're still not back from the halftime break. What is exactly happening here? Still, the ad break is going on. Halftime break. Alright, so I do have an interesting post saved. Right, exactly for this moment. Where I can explain something. Players are coming out now for the second half. And we're underway then. it is Netherlands who kick us off here in the second half, kicking from left to kicking from right to left, right, and coming out with a bit more intensity, I hope, and so they are. Desert Dumfries down the right. Already we can see much more intent. Now that's better. This is better football. Doan down the right, Doan down the left. All right. So I presume no changes have been made here at the halftime break. Yep, no real changes have been made. De Jong has been shifted to a single pivot, and Netherlands are going to shift from a 4-2-3-1 formation to a 4-1-2-3 formation, right? Which basically means the Johnny Reinders is now going to be accompanied by Ryan Gravenberch, who has been moved slightly further ahead, which Netherlands were basically playing with double pivot in the opening half. Basically, this means I'm gonna have to explain this. Yeah. So here, Van Hecke here, Van de Ven, Dumfries, Summerville, Marland, Reinders, Gakpo. Yep. I'm saying Frankie de Jong was playing alongside Ryan Gravenberch, right? And Tijani Reinders was playing here, which shows there's literally three players, right? Before these two Netherlands midfielders can access Reinders, right? So basically, what Netherlands have done to break this, they basically allowed more players to come out on the press over here, right? Here and here. These two players can go further ahead as well, right? Which basically means De Jong can come more inside and Gravenberch can come here and Reinders can come here. Now creates more like a 3v3 in the middle, and henceforth that can help much more in controlling the ball and scoring a goal. Talking of scoring a goal, both teams look far from scoring a goal right now. And scoring a goal, by the way, if you believe it or not, scoring a goal is exactly what you have to do in a game of football. If you are a football fan today, that is what you have to do. You have to score, which basically means you have to put the ball in the back of the net. Something both teams are failing to do as of now.
Nakamura's ball. Too much on
Error
that.
from the goalkeeper.
O'Reilly was trying to make the running behind Van Hecke.
And our
We've seen
favorite
a lot
player
of
on the
those
pitch is
passes,
back
Fred,
again.
so far in this World
Suzuki.
Cup. That vertical pass.
Taking it forward now, Daniel Malen.
Frankie de Jong. Virgil van Dijk.
So, yeah,
Three
I
starting.
do have another fact. So, believe it or not, Japan have Suzuki on the pitch right now,
Gakpo's gone
right?
left.
And they have another player on the bench whose name is
Then he
Honda.
skips back inside. That's a difficult matchup for
So,
Doan.
make of that what you will. Netherlands have a free kick in a dangerous position now. He's gonna whip it in. Maybe a chance to float the ball in the box. Netherlands fans
So
are getting it
Reinders
up.
over.
Johnny Reinders. Momentum building slightly better now.
Over the free kick.
Johnny Reinders will be the one to
For
whip
the
it in.
Netherlands, Van Hecke
50
and Van
minutes on the
Dijk have
clock.
both gone forward into the 6-yard.
There's only a single man wall for Japan. That is interesting.
Kick away, Doan.
And it can do nothing, it's been cleared away. Ryan Gravenberch, he's now going to whip the ball in the box. Here's a chance for Virgil van Dijk has scored. Virgil van Dijk, what a bullet header. It's come out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, right? There was no threat, no momentum. They were dominating possession, but they were literally passing sideways, right? And Virgil van Dijk has scored. It's 1-0 for Netherlands. An appeal has been made, by the way. by the Japanese
Deadlock
coach. Let's see
broken 5
what
minutes
is going to
into
be
the
the result for
second
that.
half by the Dutch captain Virgil van Dijk.
But I tell you what, Fletch, what a ball from Ryan Gravenberch. No pressure on the ball, just whips it in. No offside. He's in a great position. What a header that is, by the way. Just heads it back across goal, low. Absolutely no chance for Suzuki. But that's why you play a little bit quicker. Get the ball into the
Virgil
box.
van
We said
Dijk
Fletch
with a
before,
bullet
that's their
header
advantage.
makes it
Get the ball
1-0
up in the air. Look at Virgil
the Netherlands.
guiding that in, looking down.
Not changing,
What a fantastic
changing the
header.
score right now.
Celebrations
Is being
from
checked.
his manager, Ronald Koeman. And how many times have we seen Virgil van Dijk score that very goal in the red shirt
It was
of
a Liverpool
Liverpool?
connection.
So good at it.
A Liverpool
he doesn't
player
go
with
for
the
power,
assist,
just
a
guides
Liverpool
in.
player with the goal, and Netherlands lead
He's
Japan
a special
1-0.
player. Big moment for a special player.
He was winning his
Has been
92nd
checked,
cap today,
cleared,
played
and
55
waved away.
games Japanese, but it does back up the point you made very, very early in the first half. They've got such an advantage, the Dutch players, when the ball's in the air.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the ball from Ryan Gravenberch is absolutely fabulous. You see Van Dijk, no question.
Yeah, that's Taniguchi playing him on side. Shogo Taniguchi
Number
timed his
3
run perfectly,
from
didn't he, the
Japan,
big number 4.
playing Virgil van Dijk onside.
Just stayed up.
There was not
The
offside.
ball and the header are absolute perfection.
And after all the possession the 3 Vans have been having at the back,
And again, you can say just
a
speed up play
Van
a
was
little
the
bit.
one
You
that
speed it up.
deserved the goal.
Japan don't get out to them. No pressure on the ball, and that's what happens.
See, I told you we'd get a goal.
Time wasting already.
I told you we get
Now
one.
Japan need to
You're
go.
being
Now
pessimistic.
Japan
We're both
cannot
claiming it.
afford. They cannot settle
So
for a
let's
draw.
see
Now
what the
the intensity
Japanese
may
response
increase now.
is. The Netherlands with the lead, Mickey van der Ven.
Netherlands
with the
wonderfully
possession.
play through the press once again.
He loves to run with the ball, doesn't he?
Frankie de Jong
He
can
just
spread
wants-
it wide now.
Just wants
Denzel
people to get out of the way.
Dumfries.
He's a difficult man to get
Dumfries
it off.
goes
Get
down
it
the
off him
right.
when he's got the ball.
Yeah, I love it.
Maybe he gets it back,
Size
no
and
doesn't.
speed.
Summerville, back inside, Van Dijk, Van Hecke, Van de Ven. Taking it once again, Van Hecke.
Here's Van Hecke.
There's no point now Japan sitting in
Van
this
Hecke
shape.
to
Wait,
Van
they're going to have
Dijk.
to make something happen. They've got to come out,
Van
press
Dijk
a
to
little
Van
bit, get a little
Hecke.
bit higher.
And Van Hecke to Suzuki, favorite player. Japan is winning the poll 100%. One vote.
Well, if you widen that statistic out,
There
they've only
is
lost
count.
2 of the
That
31
means
games in World Cup
Japan
finals.
is going to
when
make
they've scored
a
the
comeback
first
victory
goal,
from
so they
here.
are
Can
very
they do
good
it?
front runners, the
Japan
Dutch,
try to play through the
when
press
they
once
get
again.
the lead. And we did mention they've not
Footy
lost a
X
game in 90 minutes in the
defending
World
there
Cup
by the centre back.
for 20 years.
Out wide for the
And they've
Netherlands
got the
throw
lead
in.
here. And a lot of people do think
throw
that
the
they've
3
got the
Vans into
ability
the
to go
box
very deep into
and
the
see
tournament.
what
If they
will
can
happen.
find a way to score enough goals, then everything else is
Van
in
Dijk
place
with the
for
ball.
them.
But you know what? Maybe they don't have to score that many, Fletch. Maybe
Maybe
that's
not.
a secret.
Van Dijk to
You know, the
Frankie
best
de
part
Jong.
of this team is defensively. Van Hecke and Van Dijk have been fabulous. Dumfries and Van der Ven.
Hecke.
And then De
Van
Jong
Hecke
in
to
front.
Van Dijk.
You know, that's solid.
Van Dijk to Van
I
de
don't
Ven.
think they're going to score a ton of goals. But if they can keep clean sheets, they got a chance.
Van de
Van
Ven to
Dijk, who
Van
must
Dijk.
be on
Van
cloud
Dijk to
9,
Van
is
de
De
Ven.
Jong, who's hardly given the ball away.
Van de Ven to Gakpo. Gakpo to Van Dijk. Dijk to Van Hecke. What is happening here? Can we get out of the
It's the
Vans?
Dutch fans in their orange
Van
shirts,
Hecke
these
to Van
vivid
Dijk.
orange shirts
Van Dijk to
that
Van
you can hear
Hecke.
inside this stadium in Dallas.
Finally to Dumfries. And Dumfries goes back to Verbruggen. Finally. Van Dijk with the
There is
ball.
no need now, from a Dutch perspective, to do anything other than keep
De
the ball,
Jong.
and they're very good at that. The emphasis very
Netherlands
much
wasting
now on
time
Japan
with
to
the
do
ball.
something
Japan
different.
need to go.
But you see on that
Japan
shot
is
there,
still
Fletch,
defending.
they've got a
They're
back
still
five in.
chilling.
Somerville.
They're not really wanting to go out and
Denzel.
score.
They've only got one striker at Malin, so they can be a bit more
Dumfries.
aggressive.
That's played on towards
Decent
Somerville,
ball
who
over the
can get
top
the cross
there.
in front
Maybe
of
he's going to
Marlon
catch
and
up.
try
He
and
is.
pick out Marlon.
And is going to go out there for a
Really good
goal
acceleration
kick, that
by
is.
Somerville, and knew he'd
Samuel
got to deal
with
with
a
it
great
quickly.
one there.
He's a handful.
Got there in time, whipped
I
it
love
back
this
inside,
pass.
but
Straight
saved.
one in behind.
Keep it in.
Great run.
Still 1-0 for Netherlands.
It's actually really good defending from Japan in the end.
Japan
Just
need to
feels like
go.
there's another one there for the Netherlands if they're clinical.
Well, one thing that might be quite advantageous for the Dutch is we see the referee's view of the goal, and that gives you a different perspective.
Japan playing through the
And it
press.
shows you just how good a header that was from Virgil van Dijk.
Suzuki to Honda.
Here come the Japanese,
cross.
but what about that from recovery speed from Ryan Gravenberg?
How quick was that?
Brogan plays it away.
I said before, parents were chatting about it at half-time. He's such a good athlete. He can make those runs. He's such a good athlete. He can make those runs forward and back.
Here's Kubo, the kind of player they need on the ball now in
Honda.
the circumstances. Nakamura.
Ron whips it into the box and it's cleared away by Van Dijk.
Kubo needs to get on the ball. If I was him, I'd just
sending strong once
just
again.
give it to me. There we go.
Kubo at the byline. Now can he
Ron.
pick out someone in blue?
Ron is maybe a shooting chance for Kubo, and he scored. That's a great goal. Kubo to Nakamura, who scores from the edge of the box, and it's 1-1. That is a shocking goal. Comes out of nowhere, and it's 1-1 now. Japan scored their first goal at this year's FIFA World Cup, and they are back on level terms. Netherlands, one lapse in concentration, little bit of space given to Nakamura, and he takes it in a flash. It's 1-1.
Japanese
58th minute on the clock.
in Dallas. It's Keito Nakamura with his 11th goal for Japan, his first goal in a World Cup finals game.
Might have come off my header, and I don't think Verbruggen could have seen it.
The Dutch lead lasted 6
Netherlands
minutes.
kick us off.
Yeah, it was Van Hekke.
It's definitely a Van Hekke flick. The one thing about being in the stadium, the screen is that big.
Now I
it
hope
hangs from
this
the
game
ceiling.
really
It tells
kicks
you
off.
absolutely everything. There's nowhere to hide in here.
But you know what? All that came from Kubo. Not staying on that right-hand side, coming inside, said, get me some touches, get me involved
Netherlands
in the
with a
game.
throw in. Nakamura was the one with the goal.
And Reinders just didn't pick him up.
So 2 goals inside the opening 13 minutes here in Dallas of the second half. Virgil van Dijk for the Netherlands, and then Keito Nakamura
Dumfries will
for
whip it in.
Japan. Here's Gravenberg.
Dumfries tries to get the ball again. It's going to be another throw in for Netherlands.
In the first half, if anybody was going to score a Japanese goal, it was going to be Nakamura. So no surprise it's him that's got them back on terms.
And he's scored a ton of goals for his club team this season as well. From that position.
Dumfries once again whips it in.
14 for
And
Reims
it's
in
an
France.
easy take for the keeper. No,
It's,
it'll be again one.
Keito
It'll be again.
Nakamura.
Referee
And it's
was not
game
happy
on
with
here
some pushing, pulling,
In
wrestling.
Big D.
And he won't be playing there
In
long,
the
will he,
box.
Fletch?
No.
For getting that many goals from that position.
Well, he looks a really good player, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think I like Fletcher the way two-footed, uses left, but he shifts it onto his right.
So the long throw-in coming in.
It's been a
Ricky van
completely
Beek's right
different
to that
game
near
to what we
post
saw
position.
earlier.
It's headed away by
Today,
Nakamura. It's
Germany
amazing,
beat
really, when you've got a goal
Curaçao
everything seems to go
7-1.
through you for the next 5 minutes or so.
The goal scorers Neca, Schlotterbeck, Havertz, Musiala,
Challenging
German,
with
Love, and
Rueda,
Havertz again.
and the decision is
7-1.
Netherlands' corner.
I know he had a difficult season, Virgil
Well,
van
this
Dijk at
one,
Liverpool, but he
we
looks
have
fit,
seen
looks sharp.
More
Well, it's a game that's burst into life.
slow burner.
To Charlie Reinders out to take
Going
the corner
slower.
for the Dutch. Van Dijk and Van Hekke waiting for the delivery. Van
Reinders
Hekke's
has
right in there
a
on the
corner
goalkeeper.
over him. He's going to whip it into the
Reinders with
box.
the ball, Van der Ven
Someone's
attacked it,
arriving,
so
don't
did
know
Van
one
Hekke.
is.
Japan able to
Go
repel the
on.
danger, and now there might be a counter-attack on for
Running
them.
at it.
And there is.
And now it's a
Japan
2v1.
back defensively.
Netherlands defenders tracking back, and that's going to be a bad foul there.
Central defender.
That is a bad foul, and the card is going to come out. It's going to be the first yellow card
To Crescencio Sullivan.
of the game.
That's a really good counter-attack.
Avocado 7165 says Japan is good, but are facing height and physicality problems. Yes. I do think Van Dijk was the one. Van Dijk did score because of that. It was a height issue, not necessarily the physicality problem, because
Too deep,
there
too
was no
negative in
one
that
on,
first
or
half.
no one
It's a
on
good
him.
game from here.
But
29
Van Dijk
minutes
literally
left.
scored that from his
And a free kick
shoulder
here
height.
for Japan. Kubo
And no
is
Japanese
one of
player
the
could get
players
that.
stood over it.
Anywhere.
He's the player with his
Netherlands
arms in
are
the
the
air.
tallest people in the world, so I guess you can't debate that. Kubo will take the Japanese free kick.
It's a bit
Put
of
him
bend
in
on
the
the free
box.
kick. Van
You
Hicken
cannot
was
win
there.
a
Here's
corner.
Nakamura.
You cannot win a ball
Sorry
thrown
to
in like
Brian
that.
Gravenberg.
He's everywhere, isn't he, Nakamura?
Netherlands.
Absolutely.
And
Over
again.
the top.
He's got a bit of space on
Well
that side. He's
controlled
got
there.
2 or 3 in the area too.
Nakamura's going to whip it in.
Well
To
done
go
here
on
to
down the
Doran,
left.
the
To
captain, who
go.
clips in
And
the
his
cross, but
cross.
nobody in there to do
Crossfield
anything with
ball
it.
is gone.
And
Now
that's a
that will be a
foul
foul. It will be a free
on
kick.
Somerville by
The
Kubo.
Netherlands.
Yeah, they're too good, Japan, to be that passive as they were in the first half. Don't wait 4 years for a World Cup. You've got to go make things happen.
Half an hour to go then.
There's the finish in
For
between
this
the legs of
snooze
Dumfries.
fest to get better.
Target
Yes, it has been
with a touch
1-1,
from Van
but
Hecke makes it
I can tell you
impossible
this
for
1-1 has
Verbruggen.
not been worth
Just
watching,
moved it a fraction, didn't it?
especially at
Japanese
2 a.m. in the night.
celebrations inside the stadium here in Dallas. Later on tonight. Yeah.
Van
Suspect
Dijk.
my partner, Mike Ecuador, followed by
Van
Slogan
Dijk
against.
obviously goes to Van Hecke, and Van Hecke obviously goes back to Van Dijk. Netherlands with the ball. Van Dijk. Van Dijk to Van Hecke. Van Hecke with a good pass there. Dumfries. Dumfries with a little bit of dodgy move there. Dumfries. Summerwell. Dumfries on the overlap. He's been opened up. Summerwell, and he has scored 2-1. That is a wonderful goal. The first piece of skill from Summerwell we have seen today, and this goal is surely going to get this game much better. That was a brilliant piece of skill. Van Dijk for once actually stopping to pass sideways, and he actually passes it vertically upward to Denzel Dumfries. Wonderful piece of skill by him. And then he goes wide to Summerville. Summerville cuts inside onto his strong left foot, and that ball has gone through 5 Japanese players into the back of the net. That is a wonderful Dutch goal. Deserves to be called goal of the match. It's the 3rd goal of this game, and it's the 11th goal we have seen today. And the sheer quality the two teams have, I believe we're going to see more. Netherlands have scored. They're back in front again, 2-1. So then half an hour left, including added time. Van Dijk to Van Hecke. Van Hecke obviously goes back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk to no one. Van Dijk to Dumfries now down the right. Now Japan need to go. Now Japan cannot hold back. Now Japan need to press higher up the pitch. They need to show intensity. Maybe some substitutions will do better. But Japan still sitting in the mid block. Duan wins the ball and he's lost out over here. He has lost out. Cody Gakpo, he's through on goal. Cody Gakpo, he cuts inside. It's Cody Gakpo. That's a wonderful block. There were 3-4 Japanese defenders laying on the floor. It was offside, but there were 3-4 defenders laying on the floor, willing to put their bodies on the line. That's how you defend. That's how you love to see defending. Reinders with a wonderful ball. Gakpo did mistime his run. He was offside. It wouldn't have counted anyway, but the intensity from Japan, at least in the defense, is there. Now they need to push high up and score. cleared away by Suzuki. Japan have a chance now. Kubo, oh my god, what a hit. Oh, that would have been a holy smoly hit from outside the box. Takefusa Kubo. That would have been a worldly goal. Instead, it's gone for a goal kick. It is a hydration break. 67 minutes on the clock, obviously. It had to be 67 minutes. It can't be anything else. So, 67 minutes on the clock. It is a hydration break. FIFA have introduced this new timeout feature. Each team has 5 timeouts. Obviously, more Americanizing sport. It's more like a commercial ad break, obviously. So while we are here watching ads, there are millions of people in the US that are earning millions from these 2-3 minutes alone. That's why FIFA introduced these hydration breaks, which was maybe less of a hydration break and more of a money making break. And of course, it's a necessity for the stream to pause whenever an ad break hits. Clutch by the stream, but the wrong way around.
The kind of game that we hoped it would be.
Yeah, I mean, they're two good sides, well coached. I'm surprised Somerville's coming off.
Alright then, the game is back underway. 70 minutes on the clock, 20 to go. Can Japan find an equalizer and then go ahead? Can Netherlands maybe find a clear goal? Can Japan maybe score one and make a point?
Depay, who
Or
plays for Corinthians
can no
in
one
Brazil
actually
these
score?
days. He's on to play in his third World Cup.
And they won
That's
the
no
ball
foul.
clearly over here.
Denzel
Denzel
Dumfries
Dumfries take
playing
on the
Cook
overload.
is
It's a
involved for the
5v4
first
over
time since
here.
coming off the bench.
They're opening
Here's
up
Timber.
here and he's
The
been crowded
Japanese
out there
players
by
quickly
Japan.
swarm around the ball and win it back
Endo.
again, and now they can think
Romano,
about
he
coming
goes
forward
down the right.
themselves.
Can see
Through
players.
Doan. They'll just stop it here because of the injury over there to Kuba.
Takefusa Kubo is down on the floor. There was a collision with... Oh, that's not a collision, that is
Yeah, I don't think that
more
there's
of
anything
a...
in there. Just gets caught 2v1.
I mean, how significant might this be from a Dutch perspective? They've not got much travelling to do at all in the group stage. They're in Houston for the next game and then Kansas City for the one after that.
So
there are some
77
teams that are
minutes,
flying
still
here,
2-1
there, and
Japan.
everywhere. Different time zones, different countries.
They're playing
They're in a
against
certain part of the
Sweden
United
and
States. They're
then
not going to go very far. Is
Sweden
that
on
advantageous
20th of
in a
June
tournament like this where there is
Saturday
potentially
and
so much travel?
Tunisia on the
Yeah,
25th of
definitely. I
June.
mean, look, every advantage, you take it if you can.
And
I do
those
think
two
with having more teams in the competition, there's bigger spaces between the games.
against each other, 7 a.m.
It's a
in
good
the
header by
morning.
Van Dijk. Here's Gravenberch.
If you want to know what will
We'll
be our
delight to
next
say we're
stream,
going to be with the
it's
Dutch
going to
all the
be
way through
Argentina
the group
versus
stage.
Algeria, but not the full game. We're only going to stream the second half of the
They're
game.
always going to be a
Argentina
story.
versus
Gakpo
Algeria is
chasing
coming
this
up
pass
on the left
forward
wing now.
from De Jong.
Gakpo
And making it his. Cody Gakpo.
cuts inside and that's a good save from Suzuki. Our favorite player on the pitch, Suzuki, what a save.
He makes that look easy, Suzuki, and I don't think it is.
Suzuki saves most people.
Again, that straight pass, I like that one from De Jong.
Interesting.
Gakpo into a 1v1 quite quickly. Just got one thing on his mind. Gakpo wants to come inside, shifts it. Good save again from Suzuki.
So Memphis Depay, who's winning his 110th
Dutch
cap here in Dallas,
non-substituted.
swings in the
They
corner
are playing currently down with
towards
10 men. The ball's in the box and Suzuki makes an easy save.
From the Memphis Depay
Yeah, we'll be
corner.
talking about the next stream. So the next stream is going to be Argentina versus Algeria. The game is going to begin at 6 a.m. in the morning.
He's still off, and just looking down at the bench.
And the second half is going to begin
They are
approximately at
preparing 3
around 7
changes,
a.m.
Japan.
Right? That will be live for the second half of the game.
So changes
not the first
coming.
half.
One of them is
And then
Sugawara. He's ready. Takahiro
we will not be streaming
once of
any of the
Arsenal,
games that day
is
as well.
preparing himself,
There's
as
no
is
stream tomorrow as well. Argentina versus Algeria is going to take place at 6 a.m. on the 17th of June. Right, and there's no real streams before that.
That would be a huge blow to Japan.
So basically the World Cup schedule looks a little something like this. I'm going to go through now game by game for sure.
Here's a chance for the Japanese. Van de Ven got across quickly.
The next stream next game after this is going to be Ivory Coast against Ecuador, Sweden versus Tunisia, Cape Verde against Spain, which are going to take place at 2 a.m., 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. which one of them I'll be streaming, right? And then next up we're going to have Japan have a corner, and then we have Belgium, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay and Iran, New Zealand.
Also
right?
going
These are
off
the three games that are going to take place
He's replaced
tomorrow,
by Tommy
and I won't be
Asu.
streaming any one of them either, right?
And Ogawa for the injured Kubo, and we hope that's nothing too significant for Kubo, who's a really important player, based on the fact they've got no Minamino and no Mitoma.
However, on Wednesday, which is
the World Cup
basically the
injury, so they
17th
can ill afford to lose a
of
player
June,
like
6
Kubo as
a.m.
well.
Yeah, well, I
we
know
have
Kubo.
Argentina versus
He's got a bit
Algeria,
of
which
an
will be a
up,
big
and he's come
game,
up, but
and we
Doan's
will
probably
stream
the
the
most
second
creative
half
player.
of the game,
I'm
beginning
surprised he's gone off.
from near about 7
Being a
a.m.
goal
but I will
behind.
probably be live at the half-time break, right? And then the second game of the day is going to be Austria versus Jordan, and I will be streaming that one as well. It's going to be at 9 a.m. right? And then obviously from then on I will try my best to stream as many morning games as possible, and soon we'll shift back to streaming.
Don't forget James Corden and the After
course, I will
Hours
alert
crew
you on
will
my
be on
social
Fox
media
tonight for another nightly wrap of today's World Cup action with special guest
Be sure to stick
Erling
with us
Haaland. That's
all the
on
way
Fox
throughout this World
at
Cup.
midnight.
Netherlands
Local.
leading
And
2-1
one thing I
thanks
would
to
say,
Samuel and
when
Van
Erling
Dijk goals,
Haaland's on the
Nakamura
television,
57th
make sure you
goal,
see him because he's one of the most
Kastler
entertaining footballers in the world.
2-1 for Netherlands, trying to
Here's
score a
Gakpo for the
third one now
Netherlands.
to seal it. Gakpo's ball in the box,
On by
his
Timber.
dip.
Just trying to get on the end of that.
No, that
The
was only
substitute
5%.
Cook Miners. He was
Alright,
able
that
to
was
wrap
close
his
though.
leg around the
It was very
defender, but he
close.
couldn't get enough power on the shot.
Gakpo's enjoying himself on this left-hand side now, isn't he? Played a bit quicker.
Much better in the second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's not taking as many touches. He's been a bit more decisive and running at the defender a bit quicker.
Header won by
Right
Van
away there.
Hecker, then by Van Dijk, on by Timber.
Netherlands versus Japan.
Also a foul
It's
on
going
Gravenberch. He's let
head
things
to
go,
head,
hasn't he, the American referee?
Looked like one
toe
to
to
me.
toe, shoulder to shoulder.
So it feels like that's been a theme of this World Cup so far. Refs letting it go a little bit more, which I think is not a bad thing.
Here's Sano, Ito. 14 minutes left. Kamada.
The one down the left.
Taniguchi. Ito.
Good ball through the middle, cutting him to half.
Now Sugawara.
More down the right. 15 minutes to go. Can Japan find an equalizer? Can Netherlands score?
Ito swings in the
Wrong
cross, but
whips
there's
it
nobody
in.
there.
No, wrong
In
whips
the
it
blue
out.
shirt.
That was never within. That was just out
Captain
of
played by
state.
Hiroki Ito on that side, but
20 views on
they'll
the
have to
stream.
settle for the throw in Japan.
Yeah, I'm not sure crossing is going to be the thing for the Japanese.
with
They
the
just
ball.
don't have that height advantage.
Ito.
Go
Kamada.
on. Nakamura.
Tomiyasu.
Nakamura down the right. Whips the ball in the
Sugawara's
box.
cross.
Go on. Tries a
Again, there's not
bicycle
really
kick
an
and he
aerial
kicks
threat
nothing
in the
but
middle
air.
from Ueda. Here's Nakamura, the goal scorer.
Go on down the left. Whips it into the box.
Mickey van der Ven can glance it out for the throw-in,
Out
but
to Nakamura again.
I don't think it's the right tactic, Owen. Just keep swinging the ball into the box when you've got Van Hecker and Van Dijk in
Ito.
there.
No, they got to pass a move.
Gone
Short,
over
sharp.
the top.
That's their
Another
advantage.
Japanese throw in. It's the
Technically,
third
they're very
Japanese
good,
throw
Japan.
in 10 seconds.
I must say the support for both nations has been brilliant here today.
Look at that. What a
This time
brilliant
he's going
shot.
to swing it
Two
long.
fans together.
He goes long.
Sugawara's throw
Maybe a
dealt with
chance
by
for
the
header
Dutch.
number 3, centre back clearance, and he will go
They
the way
all
back.
came in, didn't they? The
And
Dutch
now
fans on the
Netherlands
open top
come
busters, the
forward
orange
and
open
Japan
top
go back.
busters that we saw lots of in Dallas earlier today. It's always a better tournament when the Dutch fans are involved. I mean, we saw the Scotland fans as well last night, weren't
Forward
they
it goes
brilliant?
and back it goes.
Singing Flower of Scotland
Back and
before the
forward,
win
back and
against
forward, back
Haiti.
and forward.
The Dutch
Can
have certainly
Japan
played
find a
their
way?
part as well. It's been a
Finally, can
wonderfully
they?
colourful and atmospheric World Cup to this point. The Netherlands with the lead here.
Ruben being pressed by the attack of Junior Ito.
Ito's header.
Japan win the ball. Winning the ball is not going to win you the match.
Straight at
They
Ryan
need to do
Gravenberg,
something
and
with
that's
the
out for
ball.
the throw-in.
12 minutes to go. Plus added time.
So they
Can
just
Japan
dropped a
find
little
a
bit
way?
deeper, the Netherlands,
Still
after
is
those
time.
subs.
A lot of it.
Trying to see the game out. I'm not sure.
All you need is 1
the
minute
best
to
thing.
score
Maybe
2
try and go
goals.
get the
Japan
third.
will score. Or will they?
Great noise inside the stadium. Off goes Ito.
Junior Ito, lucky
It's getting
deflection.
behind Frankie
There
Di Novo.
goes.
Pulled back the
Whipped in the box.
chance.
And that
Didn't
is
get
a
enough of it.
straight
Sugawara,
play.
the substitute was almost the Japanese
Mark
hero.
Ruben, that was a great chance. He should do better from there.
Cut back. That
While
was brilliant
Netherlands on the other
football.
end playing lovely football down the left.
Just makes a lot more
But that
sense to
right
play
there
like
is a
that than getting wide
wonderful
and swinging it
chance.
in.
Yeah, Sugawara
Most
and
people
Ito look good
will
on this
probably
right-hand
back.
side now.
And you should as well.
Look fresh.
At the world stage.
Kato
Right then,
Nakamura.
10 minutes to go plus added time.
Moving
Go on
towards
down
the
the right.
final 10 minutes
Go
in
on the
Dallas.
left.
Here's Kamada. Good spell this for Japan. Taniguchi. Tomiyasu.
Nakamura down the right.
Looking to
That's a
thread one in.
decent
Van
whip
Hecker's hardly
into
put a
the
foot
area
wrong,
of the
has he, at the back today? You can
Great
see why
move.
there's a lot of interest in the Brighton defender from some big clubs.
You see that little cut back there. Really nice football, nice interchange.
We're going to see another change made by Ronald Koeman. And they're
The
going to send
Netherlands
on
have had
Nathan
7
Ake.
attempts on
He's
target.
coming on to replace
9
Ryan
on
Gravenberg.
While Japan have had 7 overall, only 2 on target.
Well, it's a stadium that's held some huge events here in the past. Super Bowl 45 was played here, the NBA All-Star Game in 2010. Mike Tyson, Canelo and Manny Pacquiao have fought here. U2, Paul McCartney and the Rolling Stones have played here. And now we've got the first of 9 matches in the biggest global sporting event of them all,
comes on
the World Cup Finals. And hasn't this stadium been a wonderful host today?
A defender.
Yeah, it's one of the best stadiums I've ever seen.
This.
Couldn't believe the size of it when we come in. Has to be the biggest screen I've ever seen
Grabbing
inside the
Liverpool
stadium.
It kind
here,
of
that
looms
was
large
to
on the
score a goal
horizon
right,
from
and
quite
since
some
then
distance
Liverpool
away,
once
doesn't
again
it?
back.
So you what, made me
Right,
hungry as
which
well,
means
seeing all
one
the
is
snacks
isolated
everywhere.
over here.
Food
Right,
and
which
drink,
basically means
unbelievable.
that you need
Oh, there's been a few
to
quid spent
bypass
in here
these
today.
three players,
Should I say a
right,
few
quick
dollars?
reminders. So basically what
I
they've
think
done
in
is
that little side
they've
with Ake, they've gone to a back five,
removed
try and see the
Gravenberch from the
results
equation
out.
totally,
Okay, on the left, Van
and
Dijk in the middle, Van Hecker on the
they've
right.
replaced
Of
him
that
with
five-man defensive unit now that Owen's just pointed out.
Nathan
That
Ake.
back line
Right,
was big
Nathan
and it
Ake,
just
the
got
centre
bigger.
back. So he's going to slot in over here. Van Dijk here.
In steps Van
Van Hecker
Dijk.
there.
Here's De
Extra
Jong playing
cover.
on towards Memphis Depay.
Which means Winders can also drift inside,
The
right? So
defender
still
there by
2v3 over
Shogo
here.
Taniguchi.
Right, still a 2v3, but now you
We're
do
going to
have
see some
extra
more Japanese
defensive power.
changes. There's quite a lot of
Against
activity on their
Japan.
bench,
7,
right below our
8
commentary
at the back.
position here in Dallas. Eight minutes left. 2-1 Netherlands. Ake beaten in the air by Ito, who quickly picks himself up to get onto that second ball and win the throw-in. That's good play from Ito down this side.
Yeah, fresh, sharp, coming off the bench, have a
83rd
big
minute.
impact. That's what the
And
manager
Japan find
wants.
a way. They need to, they must. Nakamura.
Crossed in
Space
by
to whip it in.
Tomiyasu, cleared away by Van Dijk. That's a foul by Memphis
Much
Depay.
better.
That's crazy. I mean, just giving away
That
an
is a
easy
yellow
free
card
kick,
after
and he's
that
got a
bad
yellow
foul
card
by
as
the
well.
last
Yeah, I
player.
don't think Ronald
And
Koeman's out
with
there.
that, there's going to be another chance
Just
for
for somebody come off the bench. He's only been on 10 or 15 minutes.
A
A couple of mistakes. He's got to be careful there, Memphis. Not playing the ball.
Lucky to get away there. Lucky to get away. Oh,
So he's going to replace his
straight
centre forward
elbow
here.
hit on the face.
Moriyasu, the Japanese coach, Kento Shiogai is coming on. He's only 21. 2 caps so far for his country. One in the win against England,
Now for
and
Japan
another
as
one
well.
in the win against Scotland. Plays his
Going
club
through their
football in Germany for
substitutions.
Wolfsburg.
It's Ueda, the striker.
And he's gone right into the thick of it here with 7 minutes left to
it's a
play.
straight sub at striker. Ball's going to be whipped into the box now by Japan. It's cleared away. Netherlands win the ball. Substitution up top now
Memphis
here.
Depay, Frankie de Jong, free kick to the Dutch.
Yeah, the other Ito
There's no point in pressing Frankie de Jong.
This Ito was removed, right, and
He could get himself out of a vault, I think. Unbelievable.
replaced by
Number 18, Ayase Ueda, is being replaced by number 26.
Well, there's a very physical player coming on here
Son.
for the Netherlands. They're going to take off Cody Gakpo and send on Brian Brobby, who had a really strong season in the Premier League for a Sunderland team who qualified for Europe next season. Didn't play in qualifying. This is the first time he's played for his country since March of 2025. But if you want a bit of size, a bit of desire, and someone who's really going to work out those Japanese defenders physically, it's Brian Brobby.
I'll tell you what, Ronald Koeman, you watch Memphis lose that ball there, and you made a change instantly. He wants Brian Brobby to stay up, keep the ball. Memphis Depay drop in and play a little bit deeper. He's not messing Ronald Koeman, is he? One touch, that's it. Swap it.
There's the first physical battle he's up against. Taniguchi is certainly going to know he's in a game now.
He is a handful, isn't he?
All right.
Brian Brobby.
Yeah. If he played in the NFL, he'd be a fullback.
Right
or somebody
then,
like
5 minutes to go.
linebacker, I don't know. He's a big old boy. He's almost as tall as he is wide.
right away.
To be fair, yeah, fantastic season. Sunderland runs the channels technically. He's got the lot.
Ito to
Nakamura.
Sugawara. Great noise inside the stadium. 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Netherlands 2-1
Chance here.
up. Great goal to get them ahead from Somerville. There's
Whipped
De
into the
Jong.
box, cleared away, whipped into the box again. Yuan,
Kamada was battling.
That's the one.
Nakamura.
Yuan
In
is
goes
going to
the
whip
cross.
it in,
Gonna
and
follow
it's
from
going to
Ito.
clear
He
away
can
all the
chip
way.
one
Ito
back in.
maybe,
Van
Van
Dijk
Dijk
can
clears
head it
that
away.
one.
Captain's header from
Box
Van
presence
Dijk.
there. Good physical.
Shiogai was very, very nearly onto that cross in from Nakamura. Owen.
And you can cross it low, you can pass it, that's the one, but not up in the air. They've got to keep the ball on the ground, that's their advantage. They've got a good bit of momentum now.
Over goes Tomiyasu. Free kick to
Foul for
Japan,
that.
who
Oh
are
my
finishing the
God,
game
he's
very
given a foul.
strongly.
He has given a foul. That
Made
is
some good subs.
certainly interesting. I mean, What's a debate? It's up for a debate.
So Junya Ito is over the Japanese free kick. Time running out for them. Everybody back defensively apart from Memphis Depay for the Netherlands. Headed away by Brobby.
And it's been cleared away quickly.
Hiroki Ito.
Probably going to be a lot of minutes of added time, maybe 10 minutes of added time. Having many interruptions. Ball is into the box.
Silence
Cleared away.
Mickey van der Ven underneath.
Ito.
A high ball into the Dutch penalty area.
Nakamura.
Look
Ito out
too
to
deep.
the right.
No, they've got to get out.
Ito's been a
Ito
real
will
threat
whip
down the
it in.
right since
Mark
coming on.
onto.
That's nice from Kamada.
Cleared away.
Good defending though by van der
It
Ven.
will
and they'll
be
get the
a corner.
Better football.
Been a cracking second half.
Yeah,
Japan.
really good.
And Japan
Ito's been
finally
terrific since he's come
finally.
on. Nice little 1-2. Kamada, Van der Ven's too quick.
Ito
Finally
to
become
take the
close when
corner.
it matters. Can they find a
No
way?
respite for the Dutch, hanging on to this lead.
Ito whips it in.
Away by Dion.
It's cleared away. Ito's going to be an available passing option again. Nakamura.
The Japanese players think they're taller than they actually are because they persist on
And
crossing
the
it
other
straight onto the heads
I don't
of the
mind-
Dutch defenders.
Yeah, I don't mind a low cross. I think that's fine. But they've got to play football, get it down and play, pass and move.
That's a lovely
was
pass,
ball.
brilliant. Ito in behind. Great defending. Look how many they got around the ball there. The
And the
Netherlands.
other Ito now.
What a pass though. Dumfries
88th
it was
minute
who
on the
made the
clock.
block.
Fletch, every time they get it
2
on the deck
minutes
and play,
plus added
they
time to
create
go.
moments, make runs in behind.
Japan do have
Really good defending.
a free kick in a dangerous area.
Ito again. Surely they've got to go short. Try and play their way in.
They may try to whip
You
this
watch
in.
they'll score from this one now. I've said that.
This Chris.
They whip it in. There's a chance and it's gone in. It's a header in the 89th minute. They have finally found a way. And a header of all goals. They've been criticized all game long that they cannot score a header, and he scores a header in the final minute of the game. 2-2. That is a shocking goal right at the end for Netherlands to concede. This has to be some sort of history. The tallest players in the world conceding from the shortest players in the
That was going to
world.
happen.
What a brilliant ball in. Well, it takes a deflection off Kamada, I think. Don't think Verbruggen can see it. I don't think he knows anything about it, really. It's so difficult for him.
It's Koko Ogawa with a massive goal for Japan off the bench. 2-2, and we're level again in Dallas.
Wow. They were pushing, weren't they, Fletch? They had that momentum.
Can I just apologise to every Japanese player down there, because that's why they were crossing it into the Dutch box, because eventually they were going to get a goal of it.
Yeah, look, they got the numbers in there. It was Kamada
Last minute of the game.
just at the end.
Oh, the referee's now taking Ito out. Oh, my word.
That's a yellow card.
Got to be a yellow for the ref.
Plus
ref
added
get a
time.
He
5
certainly
minutes
stopped a
probably.
promising attack, didn't he?
Yeah. To be fair, I was in the gym this morning, seen loads of the refs there. They were working out, so
Yeah, they're all flexing, weren't they, when you saw them?
I think the refs in my day were in the gym. They were all hitting the weights.
What a fantastic second half this has been.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Japan
Two
have
very good
found a
teams
way
down
to
there,
draw.
by the way.
You just read my mind. Two
6
good
minutes
managers.
at a time.
I think the subs for Japan had a huge impact on the game.
So 6 minutes of additional time.
Can Japan
I'd take
maybe find a
66
winner at the
minutes
last?
of this. It's been
The
fantastic.
next game.
Yellow for Van der Ven.
They just dropped off the Netherlands, didn't they, with the subs? They got a little bit too deep. They never got out to
Van
the
der
ball
Ven given a
anymore.
yellow
If
card.
anybody's going to win the game now, you feel it might be Japan, you know.
Well, with all the subs, they're just, I don't think they have that attacking output at the moment in the Netherlands. They've had so much more the ball, Japan, in the second half. First half,
Unbelievable.
they were so passive.
So Nakamura and Kamada for Japan. And Virgil van Dijk and Somerville for the Netherlands. Can somebody find a winner in what remains of this excellent Group F match here in Dallas. I think in the excitement of it, I gave Ogawa the goal, and it was Kamada who got there in between them to put it in.
Well, no, you're right with the first header, but Kamada got a flick.
Little flick, yeah.
Ball whipped over the top. Keeper gathers.
And by the way, the fact that he has scored, what a way to mark his 50th cap for his country. So credit where credit's due, and these two teams have served up an absolutely brilliant second half in Dallas.
Well, Kamada's got into the habit of winning some trophies, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Crystal Palace, absolutely brilliant spell with over Glasner.
Ake. Van Dijk. Frenkie de Jong.
De Jong. Down the right for Netherlands. 3 minutes to go.
Everybody back for Japan. De Jong. Crossed in by Dumfries.
Worked into the box. Out of the box.
It's headed behind by Koopmeiners. They're chest bumping and all sorts now, the Japanese defenders.
Yeah.
There's the header by Ogawa that was just helped on its way by Kamada.
Japan found a way to score in the 89th minute. 3 minutes to go. Can they find a way?
They just had a bit more urgency, and I think once Somerville went off Fletch for the Netherlands, it just feels like they stopped attacking. They were happy to see out the game, and I don't think that ever works. You just invite pressure. In the first half, Japan only had 30% of the ball. In the second half, they've had 55. That's a huge difference.
So the Dutch have led twice, and on both occasions, Japan have found the answer.
Dumfries down the right. Dumfries whips it in, straight to Suzuki.
On the balance of the game, though, you'd have to say it's probably fair.
Yeah,
it's about fair.
And I think, as we suspected before the game
Japan
kicked off, it's going to take a good team come the knockout stages to beat either of them. We've seen enough evidence today to suggest that they can have a big impact, both of them, on this World Cup.
Yeah, different styles, but again, great point for that. They're going to be hard to beat.
2 minutes of the additional time left.
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, who scored the first goal with a great header. All 4 goals have been scored in this brilliant second half.
Van Hecke.
Netherlands look so much more dangerous than some of them in Gakpo on the pitch. Marlon. Be surprised if Koeman takes him off again so early.
Van Dijk. Ake down the right.
Van der Ven. Van Dijk. 90 seconds left. The Dutch have fallen silent. The Japanese supporters inside the stadium are singing their songs. The relief of the equalising goal from Daichi Kamada. Flicked out by Van Dijk to Dumfries. Played on now towards Timber. That's good defending over there by Ito. And he got a bit of support as well from Nakamura.
1 minute to go. Can some team find a way? Or is it going to end like this?
De Jong's toe finds Verbruggen.
Even the keeper forward now. Everyone's forward.
The Netherlands got so deep for about 20 minutes.
Ball whipped over the top. Van der Ven.
Across came Taniguchi.
Japan screaming to clear. 50 seconds to go.
Van Hecke.
Anywhere will do.
Lovely touch from Memphis Depay.
Netherlands come forward.
Quinton Timber crossed
Memphis Depay over the top.
A bit too high for both of them. The speed of Van der Ven keeps the ball in play. Last chance for the Dutch. 30 seconds to go. Memphis Depay loses the ball. Maybe the chance on the counter for Japan. It's with Ito.
Japan with the ball. Last minute, they need to push on. Last minute it is.
That's how you won't be happy. Ronald Koeman with Memphis Depay.
Yeah.
He's not played well since he's come on.
Hasn't it been good this second half?
Terrific, great game.
They've given it up. Yep, they've given it up.
They proper had a go at each other.
And that's full time.
That's it. At the full-time whistle then, Japan 2, Netherlands 2. They were down and out, but they found a way. They trailed twice, but they still found a way to come back from behind and draw against the Netherlands team that was disappointing today. And, well, it was a disappointing game for both teams, probably Netherlands more, but I hope they start to play better football in the next game. Maybe, obviously, because it's always
Today we're gonna learn some
time.
iconic soccer
But
skills.
I guess that's
Follow
it.
me.
I'll see you in the next stream. It's going to be Argentina versus Algeria.
The rainbow flick.
The morning of 17th June. This is going to be 6 a.m. I'll see you in the second half, and then we'll have another stream for that day, and then I'll see you in the second half for
I love this
the next day, and then obviously see you for the next game, which will be Austria-Jordan. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and bye.
A special Kinder Joy release that your kids love. With 12 limited edition